everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you some recent tank upgrades that Sausig and Truffle, two of my Hognoses, have gotten. So Sausig is a 4-year-old roughly, female hognose. She is about 2.5 feet long roughly. So she was in a 4 foot by 1.5 by 1.5 foot tank, and I recently got this here tank freed up because this is what Gigi used to be in. I'm not sure if you've seen recently, but there was a new tank gotten for him. I made a video on it. So Sausig here got to upgrade into this tank instead, which is a 4x2x2. It's only a little bit bigger really, but I feel like she'll enjoy and appreciate the extra space. This autumn or such, when there's more fallen branches on the ground and stuff, I'd like to get her a couple of bows to be able to climb up. But currently I only have this cork bark and such available, so there is stuff for her to climb on. There's a very big log tunnel, which she has taken to very nicely. But I'd like if I had more stuff for her to climb on, and the 2 foot height will give her a good bit of space to be able to climb around and work on a bit of muscle mass. Originally, all of the vivariums I have were set up to be bioactive, but unfortunately, when I moved down here, I moved house about a year ago, nearly a year ago. I don't know what happened, but a lot of my cleanup crew just died. And then recently enough in Ireland, as of today, right now, it is 32 degrees Celsius where I am. I am not used to this. My throat might sound a little bit hoarse because of this. I blame the heat entirely. I'm not made for this. I come from a long line of gingers. Body is physically incapable. So I just not having a good time. And neither is my cleanup crew apparently, because they've all died. Like, majority of them have died. Even though I've got thermostats and all this, I think just the really dry air, I wasn't able to keep up with the humidity, and they're after all dying on me, or at least I can't find any of them. I'm hoping there's still some of them there that I'm just not being able to find, and hopefully their populations will boost back up in a bit. But if not, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to buy more cleanup crew to repopulate all of my tanks. It's not just one tank, it's all of them. So Sausig appears to like this tank so far. She did actually settle in after a few days, even though for the first day or two she was hissing quite a bit, but she has settled in and she's doing okay. I've just realised that Pickle has snuck into the background there and started chewing on a damn chewy toy, which is making squeaky noises, and I apologise profusely. Because Sausig was put into this new tank, her old tank, which was a 4 foot by 1.5 by 1.5, is now free, so I decided to upgrade Truffle. So basically I've got 4 Hognoses altogether. There's Sausig, who's about 4 years old, and she's a breeding female. Okay, I'm sorry, one sec, I've got to get rid of the squeaky toy. Okay, I swapped the Kong for a giant caterpillar, and I'm hoping that'll do. Anyway, as I was saying, I've got 4 Hognoses altogether. I've actually still not gotten around to actually making a video on what Hognoses I have. I don't know why, I just keep forgetting. The first is Sausig, who you've already seen there a minute ago. She's just a normal. She does have hets, but the people who got her and sold her to me could not remember what the hets were. They felt like she had albino, but they're not sure of everything else. So until I can prove her out, she's just a normal. Then the other 3 I have got Argent, who is in Exanthic Conda. I have Muck, who is in Het Exanthic Conda. And I have Truffle here. And Truffle here is a Conda Toffee Belly. He's a gorgeous little guy, but because these guys are so small, especially when I got them, they've been living in tubs that are about 2 foot by about 1.5 foot by about 1/2 foot, 3/4 of a foot tall. So this is a massive upgrade for him. And I chose Truffle because even though Muck is a little bit bigger than Truffle is the best eater of them all. And Hognoses are notoriously picky when it comes to being put into bigger spaces. A lot of time they do go off their food. So I've decided to try Truffle here. If he stops eating, I might split the tank in half and then start slowly making it bigger and bigger for him to see how he goes. But I do feel like he will be fine. I think he'll be fine to eat because he's just an absolute pig. Like, he will eat everything and anything all the time. He's never refused food from me ever. So the substrate in both tanks is topsoil and sand mixed together, about a 70-30 mix. And then I've also thrown in some orchid bark. There's dead leaves and leaf litter, but the leaf litter is kind of broken down quite a bit now. I do need to top that back up again. There's cork bark, there's little broken pieces of cork bark, little twigs and things, just to make it like a coarse kind of substrate that they can make tunnels in, that it holds its shape if they want to make tunnels in it, because that's just what Hognoses like to do. But also it's like, it's not so harsh that that it's just lumps. I don't know how to describe it very well. They can make tunnels in it. It's soft enough, it's not going to hurt them. It looks nice, I think. I like the natural look of it. And then I've got fake leaves in there because I'm currently attempting to find plants and I'm failing miserably. When I lived in Carlow, I had a person for plants who I knew. I had a plant dealer, not the fun plants, just snake plants. But I had a person for plants for reptiles, and that was fine. And again, when I moved down here to Waterford, yeah, they all died. I don't know what happened. They didn't cope with the move very well. I had to empty all the tanks of their substrate to move. And I'm not a plant person. I have never been able to keep a plant alive. I have killed many, many cacti. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. If anyone's a plant person, they want to give me tips, please do. But yeah, so I need more plants. So for now, I've got fake plants. I've got them all cut into little strips. It looks a lot bigger here just because he's so small, but they're smaller strips so that if he got tangled or whatever, there's not much there to tangle himself in. And then they're just wrapped around sticks and wrapped around things just to give him a bit of like coverage, a bit of colour to the tank, make it a little bit nicer for him. And to also hold sticks in place. So I did the exact same for Sausage's tank as well, where I kind of wrapped some leaves around sticks so that I could hold them up so when her weight is on the stick it's not going to slide down, and kind of use it kind of to tie it all together. I will at some point in the future do a video on what hognoses I have and my breeding plans for them, because as of this year, Argent and Muck are about 2 years, a year and a half to 2 years old, and Argent has hit the weight he's supposed to be to breed, but Muck has not yet, so she's not terribly far off. But she needs, I'd say I'll give her another year and see whether or not she's ready to breed. And if she is, I'll be breeding Argent and Muck together in the hopes of getting some Exanthic Supercondas, which would be beautiful. They've got a couple of other hets in there to mess around with too. And then I was considering breeding Truffle here to Sausage just to try and prove out Albino and herself, because he is allegedly het albino as well. It's just a couple of things. I've got no set plans at the moment. I know Argent is het albino too, so I could breed himself to Sausage, or I might just decide to leave Sausage out of it altogether and just leave her as a pet and get something else to throw into the mix. I have not yet decided, but I'm going to make a video on that at some point, but probably just not until next year when I'm actually going ahead with it, because I don't know, I'm working nights at the moment and my brain is fried. That's why I keep forgetting to upload videos. It's been like a month or so since I've last uploaded, and I know I'm making this now. I've probably uploaded one or two since this one has come out, but that's the reason why I just haven't been making anything. I've just been kind of zipping around the place doing different things. I need to get on top of my stuff. I need to sort my stuff out. But I'm working on it, I swear. I promise. Kind of. When you're moving a snake into a tank that has previously been used by a different snake, obviously you have to clean it all down, sanitize it, and so on and so forth. With the hognoses, this is easy enough because I just took the substrate from Sausage's tank and put it into her new tank and topped it up. And then for this boy here, I just gave him new substrate because all the substrate that was in the old tank that Gigi was in was moved into his new tank, and so on and so forth. So like it works out fairly well. And then in between, I just gave it a good wipe down. There was no drainage layer in the tanks for the hognoses because all they end up doing is digging into it and mixing it with the drainage layer. They mix the substrate through the drainage, and sometimes they get stuck underneath the mesh and they make just a load of noise panicking trying to get out. So I just don't bother. But you definitely can. I personally have just given up at this point. You also may notice that there's a couple of like houses and things in here that just do not make sense, and in Sausages as well there was a little house that did not fit at all, but they were from her old tank, so I just wanted something that was familiar in there along with the new decorations and the new hides and stuff, just to let them settle in a little bit better. And then over time you can remove them if they don't suit the decor or whatever it is that you want to do, as long as they're settled first, all is well. Also, before I moved them, I had fed them in familiar surroundings, so I know they took a good meal about 48 hours before I moved them. So they've digested it, they're good to move, they're good to handle, and now they're good that if they don't eat for the next meal, maybe 2 meals, that's completely fine, because at least I know they had something. They're not going 2 months without food or so on and so forth. So yeah, just to feed them beforehand, but obviously not like the same day because they might regurgitate, or 24 hours. I just personally leave it to 48 just to give them the extra digestion time and then at least you know for sure that you don't need to be worrying about food immediately, because when they're settling, they might not eat for a meal or 2 meals, maybe even three, and that's entirely okay. They just take their own time to settle. So yeah, that is basically it for this video. I just wanted to show you guys the new upgrades for Sausig, same snake, I pronounce it differently, and for Truffle. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you've any questions, or if your snake was upgraded and either liked or didn't like their tank and so on and so forth, let me know. I'd just be interested to hear about it in the comments below. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully in future I can update that it has gone well and they've been eating and all good, but I'll update after like 3 or 4 months and we'll see how they go, so I can give an actually educated answer. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching.